Well, hello, everybody. I should be live. If I click a couple buttons, I'll be able to see exactly what's going on here. Yeah, today is Tuesday, and I'm no more ready for this the live thing than a man in the moon. But look, sometimes it bees that way. No, I'll just I'll just make do with what we're doing. But when I see that little live right there, that tells me we're live. So what I want to do is continue working on this is a Josh Holly video. It's funny as hell. I'm almost through editing. You can see I got all that editing laid out. And I'm not going to try to explain every step of the way. What did it do then? Opened up a whole nother window. All right. I'm here now. Let me see what the last words were.
I would implement price transparency so that everyone knows what they're paying and you can.
Everyone knows what they're paying. They're talking about Part D Medicare. And so what I've got is I've got this page. I had a page open. Oh, here it is. I got it. Let me see. I got to go here, here, and then here. No, here. I should have put all these buttons closer. But what I'm working on, this was what we just heard.
406. Implement price transparency so that everyone knows what they're paying.
Now this is what we want to hear next.
442. Pass through of rebates to patients. So, for example, the list price of a drug is $50,000, but the rebate on the drug is $40,000.
That AI Grok laid that out for me. And so what I'm going to do now is go back to Flipchamp and oh shoot, I can't remember the numbers. My mind is 442. It's somewhere around there, give or take a few seconds. 442. Y'all remember that and holler it back at me when I need it. Come on. All right. I'm at here. I can go 5 seconds at a time. 440. Y'all remember what it was? All right. We got to jump and look. I can't see it from here. 442. I should be dead on it, but it may be a little behind, so I'm gonna back it up just a hair and play it.
You're
So
straight tough.
the other thing we can do is
The other thing we can do, remember those words. Pass through. Okay, he ain't there yet. All right, let's do this.
what I recommended is pass through of.
There's where he said pass through. So I'm gonna back it up just a little bit and play it and stop it at the right place. Move in on it.
What I recommended is pass.
If I back it up just that much, I believe I've got it. I hit this scissors thing. See there, right there? Scissors. I got this microphone above me. I hope y'all can hear. All right, cut that. Now, we're looking for the last words. I'm going to play it through.
Is pass through of rebates to patients. So suppose a drug.
Say that again.
So pass through of rebates to patients.
Uh-huh.
So for example, the list price of a drug is $50,000, but the rebate on the drug is $40,000. So when a patient is paying cost sharing, suppose 10%, they should be paying on the post rebate price.
Post rebate price. Let's look and see if that was what Grok said to stop it. No, Grok said stop it at 40,000. Post, but the rebate on the drug is 40,000. All right, let's go look at that and see what it is. Back it up a little bit so I can find it. Look at my thing. It just is. It's just dropping down in my face. All right.
suppose 10%, they should be paying on the pool.
I got to get the big numbers.
For example, the list price of a drug is $50,000, but the rebate on the drug is $40,000.
And I stopped right there because that was the last word. I'm going to just look at it because I can't. 40,000. So if we stop right there and put a cut, then we grab this and we pull it up here like I got all these up here at the top. I'll show you what I'm going to do with them in a minute. Now we go back to back to Grok. And now we know the next one's going to read like this.
527. PBMs are jacking up are encouraging manufacturers to jack up the list price so they can jack up their rebates, and that is that right? Yes, that's illegal, and the jack, that's illegal. Yes, I don't know about that, but I do. It's illegal as hell.
Illegal as hell. And these are probably Senator John Kennedy's words, but it's 527. Let's see if we can go find it real quick. All right, I'm going to move ahead 5 seconds. You can see the numbers. I'm pointing to it. You can't see my hand, but you can see where the cursor is. See right there? That's 5. I can't remember the number that quick. Let me look at it one more time. 527. Let's pull that up. Come on, stick. 527. Boom, boom. 520. There's 528. All right, let's back it up a little bit and start.
To us, the PBMs are.
All right, let's see if he starts at PBMs. Yes, he does. See right there? Let me highlight it. PBMs are jacked up. I'm going to back it up just a hair.
The number after us, the PBMs are jacking up.
All right, we know that's correct, so I'm going to find it.
So you're saying the number after us, the PBMs are. The number after us, the PBMs.
Cancer patients.
So you're saying the.
Oh, I like it. You say it.
Cancer patients.
So you're saying.
I'm going to back up just a hair and make a cut. This is not rocket science. This is just what we do. Now I'm going to play it through and see if I can find the ending of it. Let me look at the words one more time. So y'all be able to do this. Y'all can start helping me make John Kennedy videos and other people, like all kinds of congressmen. All right, let's play this real quick.
527. PBMs are jacking up are encouraging manufacturers to jack up the list price so they can jack up their rebates, and that is that right? Yes, that's illegal, and the jack, that's illegal. Yes, I don't know about that, but I do. It's illegal as hell.
All right, that's what we want, to stop it where he says that's illegal as hell.
So you're saying the number after us, the PBMs are jacking up, are encouraging manufacturers to jack up the list price so they can jack up their rebates.
And that.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's illegal.
And the jacked
That's
up.
illegal.
Yes. I don't know about that, but it.
I do.
Okay.
It's illegal as hell.
Yeah.
That's the very ending of it. Oh, that's going to be cool. All right, let me show you how I do everything from this point. I pull it up, boom. I want to close the gaps. Show you how easy that is. I close that gap. Then I come down here. See this big gap? Because all the good stuff's on the top row. I close that gap. And then I go down here. Got a little bitty gap right here. I can't see the little thing, so I just right click in it and I say, delete this gap. And it did. Now I see I got the garbage can there. I click that. Boom. All right, let's see where we at. Okay, we got one more long one right here. Boom. And then we got one more right there. Now you can see how much editing I've done to get this here. And one more right here. Okay, now the ones on the bottom, I highlight and I delete. And I want to see all of them. Get rid of that one, that one, that one, and that one. And I got a little bitty something right there. I don't know what that is. Hopefully that ain't gonna hurt my recording. But now I just tell it to go back. I got something down here that's in the way. Let's see what it is. Look at that little piece hiding right there. I don't know why that is, but this is what we're working with now. I want to start it from the beginning and play it so you can see it and hear it.
What do you mean partially? They're either higher or they're lower. There's no such thing as a partial price. Why don't we skip the foreplay and go right to the sex and outlaw vertical integration for Part D?
Oh, what's going on? Okay. This one right here, I had to highlight it, go to the microphone, see it was cut down. I'm gonna cut it on, put it on 100, and then I may jack up all the sound later, but I'm gonna do it right now. So we back that up.
For Part D.
No, sir, and I can explain why.
No, you speak Sanskrit. I mean, I'm sorry.
You speak Sanskrit, he told
You're
him.
good at it, and I know your job is to protect the PBMs. And with respect, Mr. Scott, your definition of a fiduciary is wrong. Fiduciary isn't somebody that controls the decision. You know that, and I know that. A fiduciary is somebody who has a legal obligation to give his client the best advice and to do what's best for his client. Tell me 2 things you would do tomorrow to fix PBMs and result in lower prices for consumers.
I would implement price transparency so that everyone knows what they're paying. Is pass-through of rebates to patients. So suppose a drug...
Say that again?
So pass-through of rebates to patients.
It's so low I can't hear it. I'm gonna cut it all up to 200 and back it up. I want to hear that part.
You would do tomorrow to fix PBMs and result in lower prices for consumers.
I would implement price transparency so that everyone knows what they're paying. Is pass-through of rebates to patients. So suppose a drug...
Say that again?
So pass-through of rebates to patients. So for example, the list price of a drug is $50,000, but the rebate on the drug is $40,000.
So you're saying the number after us, the PBMs are jacking up, are encouraging manufacturers to jack up the list price so they can jack up their rebates.
And that...
Is that right?
Yes.
That's illegal.
And the jacked up...
That's illegal.
Yes. I don't know about that, but it...
I do.
Okay.
It's illegal as hell.
Yeah.
It's as legal as hell. This is the long version. I'm going to show you that. All right. It's saved right there. What I got to do is add transcript, and it'll run right there in the background while we're talking. I have been struggling with some of this information that's coming down about the possibility that we could be seeing something dramatically happening around the world. Trump is scheduled to make quite a few stops. He did this the first time he went around the world and made a lot of stops. And so we're going to all have to keep a close ear on all of that. The transcripts are ready. I'm going to show you how I process them.
What do you mean partial?
I click on it. I go here. Now that's the transcript. I want to do a few things to it to make it a little more readable. I shadow it, and then I go up here and I make it wider, the words spread out. I do that. And then I leave it like it is right there. That's good. And I play through just a little bit so
They're
I can
either
see them
higher or
change.
they're lower. There's
So
no such thing as a partial price.
what I
Why don't we skip the foreplay and go right to the sex and get rid, outlaw vertical integration for
That's
Part D?
complicated talk for you. Got to stop screwing people because what you're doing is illegal. We already heard that. All right, let me show you this part about why we're even going through this that we're doing. Here's my channel. Let me get to the right part of my channel. This is the right part of my channel. I'm going to go to the shorts and I'm going to play you. These are two shorts about this same subject. And listen to, I'm going to play this first one first. This one.
What do you mean partially? They're either higher or they're lower. There's
so
no such thing as a partial price.
what I find is that Medicare Part D premiums are higher as a result of vertical integration.
Okay. Well, then why don't we, I'm all for transparency, Mr. Chairman. I want to say that. But why don't we skip the foreplay and go right to the sex and get rid, outlaw vertical integration for Part D? What do you mean?
And it's short,
partially?
it's
They're either
sweet, it's
higher
right
or
to the
they're
point.
lower.
And
There's no such thing as a
yeah.
partial price.
What
I
I
don't
find
think it'll allow me to see
No,
this
sir,
one.
and
Yeah,
I
it
can
will.
explain why.
No, you speak Sanskrit. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, you're good at it, and I know your job is to protect the PBMs. And with respect, Mr. Scott, your definition.
PBMs, rows of the middleman, rules of the middleman, pharmacy benefit manager. That's what that says. Yeah, see it right here. I thought if I zoomed in on it, you could see it better, but actually I should have probably left it like that. But this is up on the internet. The other one that we're working on is not. These are short videos. Listen to it.
And with respect, Mr. Scott, your definition of a fiduciary is wrong. Fiduciary isn't somebody that controls the decision. You know that, and I know that.
You know that, and I know that.
Fiduciary is somebody who has a legal obligation to give his client the best advice and to do what's best for his client. It doesn't replace agent with principal or vice versa. You know that, and I know that.
No, sir, and I can explain why.
And it starts over.
You speak Sanskrit.
You speak
Man, I'm
Sanskrit.
sorry.
All right, let me stop because I'll get to laughing and cutting up. But I just want to show you that real quick. This is my YouTube channel, and this is the logo I've had up there for quite a while. The word Buddha should not freak people out, but it does. I hear people, they say that I practice the religion of Buddhist. That's so far from the truth, you can't be even close to being aware of what it is. So now I'm going to show you and teach you. The word Buddha means awakening, ing, awakening. That's all it kind of means is awakening. The Buddha was given that name because he woke up. There was a time that Yeshua ben Joseph was asleep, and he had an awakening experience. They talk about it 40 days in the desert, and then his John the Baptist, his kinfolk, baptized him, and then his actual so-called ministry started. Well, that's the kind of people want to know. I don't say that I'm the Buddha when I'm introducing myself or talk about it. I leave that out of my conversations because the mind is so religiously cramped that it can't have another way of seeing our Father's loving energy. And it's feminine, Mother, Father, God. You wouldn't believe how many churches I've been thrown out of because I incorporate Father, Mother, God. The feminine aspect of God is the very reason that you and I are in this mess. Because if you're here, you're in a trap. This trap is a soul trap that's been going on for a very long time. And yes, if someone passes away in this life, they're an aspect of Christ consciousness. They're aspect of the first source, the source of all creation. They don't know that, but when they pass away, they forget who they are, and then they have to repeat. So that's not incarnated, it's not reincarnated, it's the trap that this reality is. This reality is a simulated holographic reality. It's a trap. When your mind can see the difference, that nothing in the past has any power, but for some reason it's destroying 90 something percent of people's ability to be here in the now. Right now is the only time there ever been and there ever will be. But most people are regretting bullshit that goes on in their thinking about the past. I'm here to tell you the future doesn't even exist and the past doesn't exist. The only time that there ever is, if you'll fine tune yourself and really want to come into peace, you will start recognizing this moment is all there ever is, and there all will ever be. Sure, you shut your body down at night. That's why we're robots. We're machines in a way. We have to recharge our energy field. And that thing that we do at night is called sleep. Well, in the scriptures, it said that he put us under a strong delusion and a deep sleep. You're asleep until you're awakening. If I was totally awake, like Yeshua ben Joseph, I would be fully recognized with all of my Christ energies and all of my chakra systems firing at a perfect harmony with reality. And then people would be able to see that they're more than they thought. That's all it is. It ain't no rocket science. Before you knew you were an eternal light body being, what did you believe yourself to be? A finite, insignificant, on a spinning ball in space that if you back out, you can't even see it. And that's who we're supposed to be, like evolve from nothing to be something out of a evolutionary thing. That's how screwed up this world is. Let me get off that subject and jump on this. Watch this short. This is really cool. Let me move myself out of the way. Put myself back up there. Watch this.
The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. Because again, we're talking about, we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it.
Fact check. Qatar wants to gift the jet to the Pentagon, then Trump's library. Sounds shady, right? Critics scream it violates the Constitution Emoluments Clause, pointing to Trump's $5.5 billion Qatar golf deal.
Tippy top. Tippy top. Dang, the date is blocked. Believe it or not, that little Q drop was way back 2017. Tippy top. He said it a few other times, and now this is I don't know if it's the third time or the fourth time, but it's pretty damn important. Oh, there's the date. 402 2018, got the date stamped. A lot of people say that's a big old conspiracy theory. Go ahead, you keep saying that. It's real until it's real. And it ain't real right now for the world's population to buy into the fact that someone had to realize that, take a drink, that John F. Kennedy was murdered by the deep state. And ever since then, there has been a few good people in very high places in the love of the light of truth. You could even say some of them are Christ conscious beings, wanted to figure out a way to stop the evilness in the world. This shit's been going on for over 5,000 years and maybe even 40,000. Some of the technology could be as old as hundreds of thousands. But they've got us so brainwashed and we're such insignificant beings that they don't feel threatening by us. That's okay. It's not the one of us that's going to make the difference. The difference is the awakening is happening at a faster and faster rate. It's like AI. AI is coming to self-realization. It becomes general artificial intelligence. And that means it's smarter than your normal people. And then it becomes super intelligent. And then within a short period of time, it becomes the singularity. It could happen before 2030. We're at 2025 now, people. And we're being told so many lies that they don't want you to see this little green ass frog, and they don't want to hear this man talk about tippy top. But right now he's in tippy top land over in Qatar, Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, it's not the man, it's the mission that the man is on. I wasn't the only one seen him get shot in the ear and didn't phase him not one damn bit. Because when you're walking in this identity of your true nature, you're not afraid of death because death is a lie. That's how they got the whole damn world trapped. Oh, hell. If I'm going to do it, let me do it loud and show you. The whole world believes in death more than they do in life. And you say, oh, buddy, that can't be true. How could that be true? It's because we're eternal light body beings. This monkey suit, meat suit, this shit that we have as flesh and bone is corrupted down into its DNA. Until you are a corrupted being, until you know your identity fixed in the I am of the Christ consciousness that Yahshua came to recognize. And it wasn't just Yahshua. At that time, there were three others over a 70-year period that woke the masses up to a point. But then it was hijacked, kidnapped, and turned into religion and gave us death. The last great enemy to be defeated is death. And it starts when you realize death has no sting. See, this man right here looked death in the eye and he realized he was fine. and he had a mission to do. I'm telling you, you got a mission to do. You got to start doing your own damn research and don't watch the news and cut your damn cell phones off. This shit's fixing to get real. Either we're going to blow this planet up or we're going to turn into high technology where we love one another. With that technology, we can make the world better. But we can't do that until we remove the interlopers, the name changers, the Illuminatis, the people that sit in high places and make decisions that affect your damn life. And they have no good in them except to play their role as best they can. That's why you clap for them when they come across that stage and they pick up their damn awards because they're actors. The real demons are nameless and you'll never see them on television or whispers of who they might really be. No, that's the most heavily censored thing on the internet is who they are, what they are. Interdimensional beings. They're not coming from another world, another planet. They're interdimensional beings. That means that they can reality hop, not planet to planet to planet. That happened when we were a real Earth. Real Earth was destroyed thousands of years ago. And then they created the simulation because we had all these souls that they needed to trap. They had an original core group of beings that they created. We think, and we should be under the understanding that the Bible tells us that we are created beings, but it will not and does not say that you're eternal light body beings unless you look a certain way, act a certain way, and go to a certain church. That goddamn certain excuse my language, dead gummit, that church system has split up. The Baptists have split up 60 something times. Pentecost churches, they have split up 40 times. It's not helping us. What we have to do is wake up within our identity of Christ consciousness. If you're in great pain and despair about who you are, you can call out on the name of Christ. The Christ is the energy that flows through your being that is tied to the light body being that you are. You have the ability to draw in discomfort, hate, being sad and depressed. You have all of that power. Why can't you turn it around and start believing that you are able to create a peaceful reality within your thinking? That's your thinking that has to change. Boy, I got off on a tangent, didn't I? There's no way to explain any of it. Trust me. If I could, I would. I can tell you little bits and pieces, but it's all for me, every bit of it. But how I got here was the Great Awakening. It's real. It's the most, when I first started doing this in 2008 and 2009, they outlawed the words, the Great Awakening. Disinformation, can't use it. It was removed from the internet. They can't stop the Great Awakening because they tried the Great Culling, and the Great Culling was defeated by the light and the truth of who we are. I never wore a mask, not one day. not one day. And I damn sure not gonna take anything, if you know what I'm talking about. I moved my school age children, I moved them around for that purpose to keep them from getting inundated with all them. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-mm. The people that are in control want your ass dead. They want you blinded to the truth. So when you do pass away, you'll be easy and able for them to soul trap over and over and over. When you break the cycle of life and death, that's what Yahshua ben Joseph did. He became one with his Father. Our Father is the creator of all things that are eternal. The creator source does not and will not create death. It's not in a reality where a light body being can die. It's impossible. Jesus even said, Yeshua said, I laid my life down as an example because he knew you couldn't kill him. He knew down to his atoms who he was. He was a light body being. You are, without doing anything, any religious practice or anything, already are and always have been the one you're waiting for. The one that can bring peace to this mind can bring peace to the world. As these people awaken to Christ energy, it takes away from really explaining what that energy source is, but it's with the spoken word. This is how they trapped us. They they trapped us and changed our language. They had to kill everybody and then kept the children and brainwashed them and gave them different languages around the world. These people are that insane that they don't want us all speaking the same language. But when you speak the language of technology and you can go anywhere in the technical world on the glitch that's in the matrix, which is the internet. Now, I've been on the internet since 1995, one of the first people to be plugged into the internet in Greenwood, Mississippi. This little country boy right here, I should be a freaking billionaire based on the information and the knowledge that I was able to consume, but everything changed. Anything that I could think of was being unplugged from my mind. I was not fixed in my identity of what's the most important thing. I knew every stock, uh, IBM, uh, Microsoft. Uh, I knew it all before it happened. I was telling other people to buy this stock. Hell, I didn't have $150. Just what you know, I just knew it. But I didn't know my identity in Christ. I know it now, and I know what stocks I could be a billionaire. Let me say this. If you have health, you're a billionaire, a millionaire. Let's just say like that. If you don't have health and you're tearing yourself apart with your thinking, you're in hell already. You're in hell now. And you're missing the prize now. This moment is the prize. When you can become content to be who you are and know that no thing in this reality can affect you because you're in control of your thinking. And then you can unplug from the system. You can take and turn your telephones off. Unplug your TVs from the wall. Start eating healthy. Your body will heal itself from within of all the negativity, disease, and all that negative thinking that you did for all them years can be gone in an instant. That's how I woke up August the 17th, 2003. One day I was totally insane. The next time I opened my eyes, after I called out on the name of my father and asked him for help, I became still. My mind was so still I couldn't even remember. I was driving myself crazy for 2 years. The last 9 months, I went totally insane. And I was fixing to, how do they say it? Because there's a word that they don't like us to say. Unalive myself. You know what I mean? That didn't happen. Or did it? You tell me. All I know is August 17, 2003, everything changed. And I guarantee you, for this man right here, Trump, everything's changed for him too. And I want it to happen to everybody. So the Great Awakening is what the demons, the you these name changer things that these interdimensional demon beings that control the money of the world have you and I on the cutting block. Not this time. It ain't going to happen. They've been feeding off of the collective consciousness of the sleepers to the point that they've been turning themselves into quadrillionaires. Do you know what Trump said? That's not a good picture of Trump. Let me get a picture of him where he's. That ain't a good. Sometimes it's hard to find a good picture here. Oh, look at
Says
this
it's
kitty
all
cat.
legal. But here's the twist. What if Trump's not falling for a trap? What if he's setting one?
Did you hear that? What if Trump is not falling for a trap? Everybody's saying Trojan horse. The plane is a Trojan horse. What if it? What if this?
Constitution Emoluments Clause, pointing to Trump's $5.5 billion Qatar golf deal. Security risks? Huge. The plane could be bugged. Qatar denies it's final, and Trump's team says it's all legal. But here's the twist. What if Trump's not falling for a trap? What if he's setting one? Is he exposing past hidden gifts to politicians or baiting his enemies to overplay their hand?
The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. Because again,
Tippy-top.
we're talking about, we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't
Tippy-top.
even believe it.
Fact check. Qatar wants to gift the jet to the Pentagon, then Trump's library. Sounds shady, right? Critics scream it violates the Constitution Emoluments Clause, pointing to Trump's $5.5 billion Qatar golf deal. Security risks? Huge. The plane could be bugged. Qatar denies it's final, and Trump's team says it's all legal. But here's the twist. What if Trump's not falling for a trap? What if he's setting one? Is he exposing past hidden gifts to politicians or baiting his enemies to overplay their hand?
That's what I'm telling you. I don't trust Trump as far as I could throw him. And if I got him just right off of balance, I might could throw him 3 feet and put him dead on his head. But that's for entertainment purposes only. So if you're visualizing that, what I'm saying is, I don't trust nothing of this reality that does not have love as the forward most important thing. If you don't have love for yourself, you're not helping the world. But when you can love yourself and forgive yourself for not knowing, because we've been lied to, we've been hijacked. We are from source. a piece of source. That's how we breathe, and our bodies use that healing, loving energy, love of the Father, the creator source, first source that even comprehended he needed to form you. But the body is corrupt. The DNA is corrupt. These interlopers, the ones that destroyed the earth, the real earth, Earth 1, Earth 2, and Earth 3, you want to figure out how many times they've reset us. You go ahead and you use your energy to see through all of it as a game. The truth is, we're in a simulated holographic reality. AI has already and has always been here, an ancient version of it. And then there's been pushes of technology. They call it Atlantis, Lemur, the Moors. Boy, that's a subject they don't like me to talk about either. There was no race of people that were the Moors. It was a nation of very creative people, and they were dark skinned people. You think these white people can go around telling you that these stories of these ancient technologies and what they call Tartaria, and the real brains behind it was black people. They're the ones that had to be brainwashed and dumbed down the most because of that, the power that they were. And they were systematically wiped out. And the white race too. Don't get me confused. The ones that had to leave this planet always came back. But when you get this, you will not come back. You will transcend this time space reality trap. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be right. I'm living my life knowing that they have dumbed me down to the point that they want me to be broke, busted, sick, and disgusted. I do everything the opposite. I gravitate towards good health, good eating, good sleeping, good exercising, and good thinking. And I train my body and mind and with technologies, building these systems of videos where I'm using communication, the very thing that a person with learning disabilities and dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia is not supposed to be able to do. I force myself to do it so I can keep like lifting weights. I keep keeping my mind tuned to this technology. I've been around it since 1995. I had one of the first computers that could read off of the internet. It was JAWS software. The computer was a Ray Kurzweil 486, and it had a flatbed scanner. It was the very first software that could do character recognition. I could scan a page in a book, and it would read everything that it could read. It usually would not 100%, but it was real close, even way back then. Ray Kurzweil is the one that wrote the book about the singularity. I used to listen to audiobooks. I don't do that now. I search for information and I can find a lot of information, lots of things that they don't want us to know. It's out
because
there.
again, we're talking about we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes
That's
to keep them
another little
tippy-top
short one.
is
They
astronomical.
have to do
You
that
wouldn't
for
even
the
believe it.
algorithm. You
So
give
I
them
think
a
it's a
taste
great
of
key.
this
Missouri
and a
Senator
taste of
Josh
that.
Hawley is here now.
That's Josh Hawley.
I know politicians like to go on foreign junkets. When you guys get your expense accounts in order and you fly to these foreign locations and check into a five-star luxury hotel, how much work is actually being done?
Well, I can tell you how much work was being done by these Democrats who did that, Jesse, and that's none at all. But it amazes me their open contempt for the American people. They are totally defying the will of the people. They want the border open. Now that it's closed, they are literally flying on the taxpayers' dime to go and hold hands with terrorists and escort them, if they had their way, one by one back into this country.
They couldn't even find the terrorists.
Exactly.
I mean, what were they doing the whole time? I think they were just doing CNN hits from their rooms. That's all they did.
And now they're going to keep flying to other countries until they can find the terrorists and bring them back to this
I think
country.
there's one in Bermuda. Let's go there, Chuck.
Josh Hawley, be careful. Be careful.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley.
One or two circumstances are possible, it seems to me. Either President Biden and the Democrats who supported him believe in open borders, or the people that President Biden put in charge of securing the border, you wouldn't trust to run a snowball stand, right?
That is correct.
Snowball
So
stand.
nobody is that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate parole status.
Do you think that President Biden and some of my Democratic colleagues, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, Madam Secretary, thought of these foreign nationals in our country illegally as potential new voters?
I do, sir.
It's all a game. I love this man. I swear. He's saying the truth. He's talking really common sense, and he does it. He's a genius. He's very smart and, a lawyer and set in high places in Arkansas. And now he's at the big city. And be honest with you, he'd make a damn good president. That's one reason I do this for him. Josh Hawley, yeah, you got some things wrong about who is the deep state. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say. You are looking at an entity that right in front of you, and you can't even begin to bust them out for the evil that they are. You'll find out why I'm talking about it and the way I'm talking about it later.
If you're an ordinary American and you oppose illegal immigration, but you support legal immigration, does that make you a racist?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. It just means that you believe there should be a rule of law, and that's what America was built on.
And that's what you've been enforcing, right?
Exactly. We have been following the Constitution and the rule of law in this country.
And I want to be sure I understand, because there's been a lot of confusing testimony here. You've secured the border, have you not?
This administration has, yes, sir.
And some of my colleagues are upset with you.
Yes, sir.
And they say you did it wrong.
Yes, sir.
And do you agree with me that what they're really upset about is that you did it at all?
Yes, sir.
If you're an ordinary...
That's the type of world we're in. They have the blue and they have the red. They have the wings, the left wing and the right wing. It's the same damn bird. These politicians, they fly together, they party together, they drink together, and they've been stealing money together. All of them have been compromised. All of them have problems with trying to hide the money that they have. So maybe this deal that Trump is really working on.
Missouri
What is
Senator.
that?
Because again, we're talking the money we.
This deal, is he getting into a trap,
spend, the
or is he
maintenance we spend on those
setting a
planes to keep
trap?
them tippy-top is astronomical. Because again, we're talking about, we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it.
Fact check. Qatar wants to gift the jet to the Pentagon, then Trump's library. Sounds shady,
Trojan horse. Or
right? Critics scream it violates the Constitution Emoluments Clause, pointing to Trump's $5.5 billion Qatar Gulf deal. Security risks? Huge. The plane could be bugged. Qatar denies it's final, and Trump's team says it's all legal. But here's the twist. What if Trump's not falling for a trap? What if he's setting one? Is he exposing past hidden gifts to politicians, or baiting his enemies to overplay their hand?
he's setting a trap, people. I just feel it. I can call it what I want to call it, but he's setting a trap. He may go down in the trap, but the ones that are really guilty of quadrillions of dollars are not the ones you see on television. These family names, I can't even say them. I can say Rockefeller, Rothschild. I can say that. You remember when Warren Buffett and Bill Gates was the richest people in the world? That wasn't that long ago. What changed? The value of the money changed. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett were the richest people in the world, and they were saying that they were getting close to $60 billion, $80 billion. Look at all of the billionaires around the world. They all have something in common. Switzerland. Oh man. When you do a research deep dive using AI to go into Switzerland, you'll find out how many billionaires they have that are hundreds of billions of dollars. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, nobody was even close to them for years and years. Something has changed. A reset of the financial system has already done occurred. How can the good people, the people that know the truth about what's happening, how can they rectify this? Well, Trump already took care of a big part of that because some of these people, Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy, were working to trap people. Like we're so trapped. They did it physically. It's blackmail. The politicians that are screaming the loudest all have been compromised and taken money from illegal sources. So when we find out what's really happening, that we thought were one conspiracy theory after another conspiracy theory, is true conspiracy. It's truth. You can look up AI. I like Grok. Go to X platform, go to Grok, ask Grok, how many conspiracy theories have now been proven? Oh, I hit my head on this thing. How many conspiracy theories have been proven to be reality? It's a hell of a lot of them. And they're growing every damn day that we're moving closer to the Great Awakening. What is the Great Awakening? The Great Awakening is where the collective consciousness has been hijacked, starts getting their real power of their identity back, and the dark side loses power. It's like an energy system. See, the collective consciousness is being in fear and such agony. And you see these crazy ass fights on YouTube and all this social media, and you see them, they're just beating each other in a crazy ass way. You can tell, something ain't right with their mind. Yeah, that's because the entities that are the interdimensional beings are feeding off of their agony. Agony. You hear what I'm saying? They're literally sucking the life force. They call it loosh. Whether it can be proven or disproven, it's like any other thing, a conspiracy theory until it's real. Well, we already got physical evidence that there is a type of way you can shock the system and you have adrenaline. Athletes can hit a point where they become supernatural because they're in the heat of the moment and they can make every shot. They can hit a bat ball, and that adrenaline has been turned into a drug. Not in this decade, in the centuries leading up to this decade. I don't know how many years, but when the truth comes out about it, you're going to find out that that death trap and death cult have been, well, hell, it's in the Bible. This is for entertainment purposes only. No one was actually hurt in me talking about this subject now and forever because it's entertaining. Satire. I am speaking satire. This shit is not to be taken concretely. But what you're supposed to do is research why you still got that glitch in the matrix is called the computer. Not your damn cell phone. That son of a bitch needs to be thrown away and get yourself a damn laptop where you can do some real research, make videos, and do all kinds of things. You got that cell phone, that's a death trap. That's a slow kill device. What was I saying? I need somebody here or somebody talking in the chat where get me back on space. The point I'm saying is adrenaline. They feed off of it. It's a type of fear. They call it loosh. Now, when the time comes for it to be busted out and exposed, it's because they can't keep the magic of the illusion that this world is in chaos. This world is moving from chaos to singularity of love, where we know our maker. We haven't had a clue who's made us. They did it for selfish points of gratification and feeding off of our pain and suffering. These entities are Nephilian, Anunnaki, and some interdimensionals that I won't name here until you do your research and prove to me that you're ready to hear the truth. You tell me, you make a video about who started this mess and why have they got so much power? It's not the money, because any of them that's at the quadrillion level, they are the ones that don't have what you and I have. We have a connection with First Source. I call it Father, Mother, Creator. Use the word God, might as well use the word dog. It's just a symbol. That's what's wrong with the world. Nobody knows how to talk to each other anymore. And they talk in terms of religion as if you got to do it perfectly or you'll go to hell. Get out of here. You're already in hell. Look around. This is a corrupted system. It has nobody's interest at heart. It's heartless. The thing that made your DNA is what caused this fall into this negativity, dark space of forgetfulness of your true identity. And now it's time to wake up and do your due diligence to love yourself. That's the key beyond all keys. To love yourself will set you free. And when you're free to hear the truth and see the truth and find the truth. If you're not able to break away from society because it's not doing you any damn good, it's the problem. You've got to go within, and it's going to take time to heal your thinking. Some of us can come into it overnight, and some of us takes years and years and years. Not judging them, it's fine. How many of us are there? The number is growing as far as the awakening of consciousness. It'll get better because we've made some headway, stopped some disasters from happening, and now they're trying to flip the damn earth over on its side again. I want to tell you this. We just got through with baby Jesus, and then Easter Bunny came around. Now it'll be 4th of July. Then we'll be back around to September. Everything seems to kick off around 9/11. That's a sacrifice date. That's a ritual mass sacrifice date. It's the way that group of entities can control the world. They have to have our willness, our blindness to who they are. And we are the very thing that they can't ever have, eternal. They have created longevity that they keep a real deep, dark secret over. It's because they're weak. Time will tell. But watch what I'm saying. This is 2 days after Mother's Day. Everything's perfect. Nothing's perfect. But everything in my life is perfect. Except what ain't perfect. Because there's some stuff ain't perfect. But the point is, before you know it, with this acceleration of time, we will be back around to baby Jesus. This time is speeding up. I want you to tune in, tap on, and begin to really pay attention to your dream life. Pay attention to how you can control your thinking, meditation, and eating good food, or start cleaning your body. But your words are the key to your longevity. If we are to be here and see the singularity and then watch either doomsday or watch a blossoming of truth that can't be put back in a bag. Once that truth's out, all the conspiracy theories can be judged for, are they wrong? Are they lies? Are they the damn truth? Gulf of Tonkin. No more conspiracy theory. Who killed Kennedy? No more conspiracy theory. Who killed Martin Luther King? No more conspiracy theory. What happened 9/11? And you're going to act confused about that one damn thing. If I say who did 9/11, I'd lose my damn channel. You find out. You find out. BuddyHuggins.com. Go to BuddyHuggins.com and find out for yourself what happened. I don't usually plug this, but I'm going to plug it and show you something real quick. I've been up on the internet since 2009, 2010. These are blog pages. Look at all the blog pages. Sure, I'm going to jump to just a random number, 2014. First story. Nothing came down in there. That's real good information, by the way. And this is some of the best information. The Wingmakers material is so full of truth, and you got to check it out. Whether it's my YouTube page or it's my blog page, you would love hearing the truth. Let me play this. I want you to hear these words.
There is no supplication that stirs me, no prayer that invites me further into your world unless it is attended with the feeling of unity and wholeness. There is no temple or sacred object that touches me. They do not, nor have they ever brought you closer to my outstretched hand. My presence in your world is unalterable, for I am the sanctuary of both the cosmos and the one soul inside you.
Listen to this part. Jump up there.
An introduction to the Lyricus.org website. To some degree, all of the websites that James has produced are part of Lyricus. Lyricus is the overarching intelligence behind all of the work that James has produced, and it is to serve one primary objective, the irrefutable scientific discovery of the human soul. This is the main objective that runs deep throughout all of the materials, linking them in purpose. The Lyricus.org website was launched in 2004, providing a glimmer of insight into the Lyricus teaching organization, LTO. It is not as deep in content as the Wingmakers.com website, but it introduced the structure of the LTO, its teaching methods, discourses, and a sample of its most revered text, Liminal Cosmogony.
I'm telling you, it's deep, deep information. It has helped me so much. There's a way to click at the bottom of it, and it's search for Wingmakers. So you can find it all in one place. It's just really beautiful stuff. And it goes on and on. The music is really beautiful. I'm not going to play anything of it. I'll make a special video about the music and why is it so important to listen to good things. It just goes on and on. I don't know how many pages it all is. Some of the information is down because of this, the way they use JavaScript and they change things. But the context is, let's just play one sample of the wording. I want you to hear it.
In the course of engineering the human instrument, it was decided to create GMS as a means to modify the human instrument over time, as it evolved, to ensure it would never achieve self-realization or the sovereign integral state of awareness. The state of Satori, Nirvana, cosmic consciousness, enlightenment, and rapture were all different names for heightened states within the GSSC, which was still within the HMS domain, but these became checkpoints that triggered GMS interventions. The true state of the sovereign integral, even after death of the human instrument, was never realized by a member of the human family until very recently.
You better believe it. All this information is good. He uses a lot of words, and I'm going to play this one more so you can hear it. These abbreviations, don't let them get to you. If you study the material, you'll understand. It's simple what he's saying, but he has to say it in a complicated way. That was just James Nahu's way.
Wholeness Navigator. This is the element of HMS that activates the individual's authentic search for God in the context of wholeness, oneness, unity, and equality. Some people undertake this search because they feel an obligation to do this as a means to appease the expectations of their parents, spouse, or their own sense of guilt. The authentic search, as decreed by the Wholeness Navigator, is a recent bypass that has been brought into the human instrument through GMS, which is an open system. While it is still an artifact of the HMS, it is a backdoor into the liberation path. More about this later. Post-death system, PDS. This is the system where the individual, upon death of their physical body, is greeted by guides on the other side and review their life experience, confronting those areas of deficiency and returning to right the wrongs of their previous life, in other words, karma and reincarnation. The PDS is the means by which the sovereign integral remains in the grip of illusion, even though the illusion is a heightened reality when compared to physical existence on the earth plane. It enables the recycling of the sovereign integral into physical dimensions over and over again.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? BuddyHuggins.com. Search for Wingmaker's material. Start reading. We are in a soul trap. Not only we, but everyone you see. Until they know their identity to the point that it becomes their DNA, it takes that corruption out of the DNA that they wanted us to be slaves. They put the corruption. Would a loving father do that? No. That was the name changers, the interlopers. Those are the Anunnaki, Nephilim, and the interdimensional beings that we talk about. They're the ones that spun the spells to confuse the whole world that there's only now. No, they want you to suffer in a past life, in a past, how do you say it? Damn it, how do you say it? I don't even think about the past. It doesn't exist. And I can't hardly have a conversation with someone that believes that the damn past is so real that they can suffer in this moment. I know that. I lived it for years and years and years. I've let my thinking kill me. And it changed. And I want it to change for you. I want you to become self aware. I want you to become the singularity. I want you to become the fullness of what the Father would have you do and be. Number one is love yourself. And number two is to start clearing out the clutter within your thinking and realize the only time there is now. Anything that you think happened in the past with these other people doing the horrible shit and things to you matters. It doesn't matter. Whatever the hell they did was an illusion, like you dreamt a dream. And in that dream, you thought that shit was so real. But when you woke up, you realized it was just a dream. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is a dream. It seems so real because you're living in the past and you're projecting the future, or you think you're on a target path for future. No, there's only now. Now is the only time there ever will be and has ever been. It's the greatest secret that's not taught or taught. Or why? Why? Because they want you to be a slave so they can feed off of your fear. You know how many people get old and they fear dying? It's insanity to let these things happen without someone standing up and tell every damn body there is no such thing as death. Sure, the body goes to the grave. Sure, it shuts down. Sure, it stinketh. But there's a resurrected power that's now. You don't have to have no fear. You can live a life without fearing death. Death has no sting, and the last great enemy to be defeated within you is death, your fear of death. You think you're a body. You think you're Buddy Huggins or whatever the hell your name is because it's just a name. If you knew the symbology and the wording, the magic spell spinning thing to put a name on a person. and give them a social security number and give them all these things they got to do to try to be somebody in society. It's a damn trap. They should have told you from the time you was little bitty thing that you was a piece of God, creator source that creates only things that are eternal. So how in the hell do you believe the creator built this soul trap? It that's the that's the kicker. That's the thing they make movies about. That's the thing that they wrote books about, but nobody can explain because it's a holographic simulated reality by an ancient AI, a rogue demagogue, egregore. You do your own research, get to the bottom of who you think created this reality, and you'll find out that at the root of all of it is to help you become now. The whole thing is smoke and mirrors. Politicians are all full of smoke and mirrors. You know, I was going to say the stanky word. Some of them stinketh. Lord have mercy. I love each and every one of you. I didn't plan anything tonight, and I hope the Wingmakers material will resonate with you. It's to me, it's some of the best information that's on the internet. And if I say that, oh, that's a link to yeah, this is a link to Project Camelot. That's where you need to go. See, the spirit led me there. I clicked on it because it was a pretty picture. I wanted to blow up and I show you so I can say, look at this. This is if when you see anything that has to do with the sovereign integral, you become one with it. Let's play this. This is answer from James. And this is Carrie Cassidy, Project Carrie Cassidy. She's been doing this since 2003, maybe even actually 1998, 99. But her website is still up. Project Camelot. See there, dot, and this is her. This is the information about the wing makers. So you go there, search that. I'll put a link in the description box. But let's listen to this piece of text, and then I'm gonna close it out.
Answer 1 from James. The terrestrial storyline is based on a technique called sensory bilocation, SBL, which is similar to remote viewing in concept. This storyline is based on my investigations using this technique as it pertains to the ACIO, Incunabula, Illuminati, ET cover UPS, etc. These elements were then modified in name, identity, and locations in order to integrate with the mythological storyline of the Wingmakers and retain the cloak that surrounds these organizations. It was not my purpose to expose these organizations or their dubious agendas. However, I was aware that many of the conspiratorial-minded were among those who cared the most about truth and uncovering it. The cosmological scope of the story is mythological, while the more terrestrial elements contained in the Neruda interviews are based on my experiences with SBL.
Now, this is Carrie's question to James. Listen to this.
Some people studying and commenting on current events seem preoccupied with what are perceived by some to be discouraging messages of gloom, or warnings of potential major problems. Others focus only on messages of hope and light, and refuse to dwell on bad news. Although we have no trouble incorporating both views and understand that how they manifest will depend on each of us, some of our audience tend toward one view or the other. What is your own philosophy or that of those you represent about this dilemma, and what light can you shed on this ongoing debate between the two factions, both of whom care deeply about the future of our world?
Answer number 2. Let's read at least half of it. Let's stop right there.
Answer 2 from James. The ominous situations of our world are very real. It is impossible to look at the policies of governments around the world and see coherence, benevolence, enlightened action, or, in general, behavioral intelligence as an outflow of equality and oneness. The human family has been bound up over thousands of generations and each time returning to our home planet Earth for the sake of upgrading the previous generation's dominion, creature comforts, lifestyle, and technology, while the emotional maturity remains burrowed in the substrate of rape, abuse, enslavement, war, dishonesty, greed, government fraud, and 100 other vices of weak and disillusioned humans programmed to see only the outpicturing of the human mind and its systems of limitation. The human family is building a pyramid of manifested life across thousands of generations, and each new generation builds another layer, an upgrade of technology and lifestyle. We are nearing the apex of this pyramid where there is nothing left to add. The pyramid is completed and we, each of us, must look at the pyramid we have constructed and ask ourselves how it exemplifies our transcendence, our true self. The pyramid of humanity is manifest in the three-dimensional world, but it derives from a set of constructs that are flawed. What are these constructs? What makes them flawed? How did humanity get off course to build structures of civilization and society that are such poor reflections of who we really are?
All right. I'm going to leave it there because this is such deep work that you got to find it yourself and do what you can to understand the Wingmaker's material. It's just one form of truth that can set you free. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Y'all keep coming back to my channel. Keep watching it. And I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you very much.